You didn't quit. You're really like against all odds. You're doing something that no one in the family has done, that none of your friends have done.
I'm just gonna say the thing you're not supposed to say.
Whatever is mine is looking for me.
You have to know what road to take to get to your final destination.
Everything that you ever wanted is on the other side of fear.
Welcome back to Between Two Worlds with Yoni. Here we dive into shadow stories, the mirrors of our hidden fears and beliefs. By facing them, we learn we can rewrite the story and choose a new ending for ourselves. Imagine this. It's the morning of your wedding day. Nerves are high, excitement is in the air, and your closest friends are gathered around you in support of your big day. It's supposed to be the happiest day of your life, your wedding day. But instead of champagne toast and getting ready with your bridal shower, you're suddenly told to pack up and leave. That's right, kicked out of your Airbnb on the very morning you're supposed to walk down the aisle. Hair half done, makeup bags scattered, and stress levels through the roof. This is not how any bride imagines starting her big day.
Bridal party getting put out of Airbnb on wedding day.
It's way fucking ridiculous if the bride can't even get her hair and makeup done and we have to be at the venue, what? We have 2 hours? Where we gonna go for 2 hours? We in the middle of nowhere.
Literally in the middle of fucking nowhere.
She had 7 people.
Hair and makeup.
It doesn't even matter. We're not having a house party. We're doing our hair for a wedding. Like, fuck y'all.
Yeah, we got put out that Airbnb, but she ain't ruined nothing. So I'm gonna give y'all a story time. Let's start from the beginning for the slow people in the back. Okay. I'm from Louisiana. I was hired to do a wedding in Montgomery, Texas. I don't know anything about Montgomery, Texas. I do know it looked a little weird when I was looking up Airbnbs and hotels, so I chose to stay in Spring, Texas. I want to say it took us about 45 minutes to drive there, so we were not there long at all. I set up my stuff. I curled up 2 people. However, I did have 10 people to do, so the bride had her own stylist. We also could not get in the venue until 12. So when the bride's stylist arrived, that took us over the limit of 6 people. At that point, the host was actually contacted and we were like, hey, we're going to have an overlap. You know, it's going to be a 7th person here only for about 10 minutes, but 3 people are about to go. She then said we had to go. We could not stay there. She does not allow that many people. So now the bride is like, okay, everyone can leave now. Can I just stay? Because her stylist was outside. The host then says you have 30 minutes to leave or I'll call the sheriff's office. At that point, we're like, whoa, this escalated quickly. Why would you weaponize the police? Y'all, it was literally 9 a.m. We were so quiet. It was so I just peaceful. Don't understand why you would put a bride out and we're basically begging. We do understand though that rules are rules, so we just peacefully left. We did lose hours that we needed in getting ready, but hey, everything worked out. The bride was pleased. She was beautiful. The bridesmaids were beautiful. The venue was beautiful. The enemy was just busy. The mother of the bride did contact Airbnb and she is getting a full refund, and I believe the host page is down.
Trust tyranny. Period.
The wedding hairstylist goes viral on TikTok after sharing her story about how the bridal party was kicked out of the Airbnb the morning of the wedding. The video blows up, sparking debate online, and it spreads so widely that the Airbnb owner themselves steps in to respond, determined to tell their side of the story.
Hi, my name is Reina Tart. I'm a real estate agent and I also own Airbnbs and I do this for a living. I'm the one that actually went viral on TikTok regarding about kicking out a bride. So I'm here to tell my story because I think it's really, really important for everybody to know because I've been being harassed like nonstop. And I don't think that's right because, as you know, people only react on what they see. So I think it's better to tell my story. I've got a booking that was booked by a man checking in on September 12th. And on the booking, it shows only 2 people in there. And, as a host, I would like to communicate with my guests prior to them coming over, just to give them a reminder about how to check in. So on September the 12th, before check-in, I sent a message to the mail booker and send him the information on how to check in. And I also tried to confirmed also on my message that I saw that there's only 2 of you and we are so excited to host both of you. And then I got a message from a woman, which is the guest, saying thank you. I said, okay, everything's okay. So that's the 12th. The check-in time is at 3:00 p.m. The second day, which is September the 13th, I got a message from the female guest telling me, letting me know that there's going to be people coming over and there's going to be a lot of cars, and she just want to make sure that I'm aware because it's her wedding day. And this is new to me. I didn't know there's going to be a wedding or she's going to be a bride. She never communicated to me regarding about wedding. So she said that her guest needed a place to stay because the wedding venue is not open until before 12 o'clock. And I was thinking why you just told me about this? If this is your big day, and you planned for this for a while, and you've been communicating with the wedding venue, you should know that their check-in time is not before 12. But apparently, what I gathered is that she booked the property for, the wedding party, which I wasn't aware of. And, we do have, requirements, right, for our guests, because as a host, we created our own house rules. So one of the house rules is that I do need all the IDs from all the people that's actually staying on our property. Either they stay there, hang out, or stay there overnight or sleep overnight. I do need to have those IDs. This is my home. It's very special to me. This is personal. I just want to make sure who are those people coming in. And I never got that. And the second thing is that one of the other rule that we have is we only allowed 3 cars that can be parked in our property. And there is no street parking. There's 6 cars and there's cars parked outside. So that's actually broken the rule. You have to understand, this is all about respect. If you're going to somebody's property, you need to communicate. I have no problem, if she communicated with me and letting me know about the bridal party. How could I kick her out? Ask her, how many people do you have? I even asked her, do you need place? I can find some place for them to stay. And I even suggested Margaritaville, and she said no. They're not going to be going in there. And then after that, there's other rules that she actually broke. So in this case, I cannot make my own decision. I do have to call Airbnb, and I got Airbnb involved. Because the way that she presented it to me, she's not asking me permission. She's telling me what she's going to do. And that's the reason why I called Airbnb and told them about the rules that she actually broke. I've never communicated with the mail booker. And then when I told her that you need to follow the policies and the rules, and she said, I don't know how to tell my dad. Now it made me think okay, maybe the mail booker is her dad, or maybe her fiance. I don't know. And the thing is that if you have 6 cars in the parking lot, how many people do you think inside the house? We can't see inside the house. We don't have cameras. We give our guests privacy. I didn't even know that she has cars and, she got people in there until she messaged me. And then I tried to communicate with her about the policies, and it seems like she's trying to prove her point, and I can't go further with her. So when I called Airbnb, of course, Airbnb wanted to get all the information. Okay, they have to evaluate the host and they have to evaluate the guest. So Airbnb did their thing. Unfortunately, Airbnb was not able to get hold of this female guest because I believe she's not answering their call. So Airbnb contacted me back and I told Airbnb and I said, hey, how can I move forward on this one? Because I am not comfortable anymore of them staying in there because really, I don't know how many people inside the house. She's not telling me how many people inside the house. So I told Airbnb said, well, Reina, what do you think you would feel like doing? And I said, well, maybe I can call a cop. And of course, Airbnb can't really tell us what to do. So I told Airbnb like, hey, if I call a cop, that would be okay. And Airbnb said, so whatever is you're comfortable doing, you can absolutely do that because it's your property. So I messaged the female guest and I told her and I said, hey, I want you to vacate the property. I'll give you 30 minutes. And if you don't, I will call the cop, which I never did. Okay. No, I never called the cop and I don't have a brother cop. Okay. So when I sent that information, she sent me a really, really, nasty text or messages. And I knew I can't, no, I'm not comfortable, okay? So this is my property and I'm not comfortable with it. If she is not willing to be honest with me, I don't respect that. So what happened was that I did not hear back from her. And I said, oh, okay, well, maybe Airbnb is still, communicating with them. As a host, we cannot, cancel somebody's reservation. You really have to go through Airbnb and Airbnb will assist you in doing it. So when Airbnb said the cancellation, the reservation is already canceled because they have all the proof that the guests are breaking a lot of rules, house rules. So Airbnb made the decision that they can actually, cancel the reservation. And then after that, never heard from them. I said, oh, okay, well, hopefully, they get it. We never called the cop. I got a tag on on TikTok. And the tag is them showing their experience on my Airbnb. And after that, I realized, oh, okay, maybe they're gone already because, it shows on TikTok that they're actually living. I said, okay, so I went and, checked the Airbnb. And next thing I know, my phone is blowing up on Airbnb app, telling me I'm a racist, telling me this, telling me that, nasty messages. And that went on the whole day, the whole night until today. Today is the 14th, okay? I'm still getting a lot of messages. And after that, people are messaging my social media, nasty, being a racist, okay? I get calls, I get emails. So basically, all of that. I understand, a lot of negative comments because people only saw a one-sided story. If they just know the whole story, then maybe they will react differently. And that's the reason why I'm making this video. But this is my story. So the takeaway of this story is that the guest violated a lot of rules. As a host, we have rules. And on our listing, it says that if you violate these rules, then your reservation might be canceled. But you should have planned that properly. Please be honest to your host, because as a host, we understand. As a host, we have rules. And on our listing, it says that if you violate these rules, then your reservation might be canceled. And you can see that prior to you booking the property. And yes, it's a sad story. She's getting married. I'm just hoping that she's accountable of her actions since it is her big day. And I can understand, I'm a woman. Wedding is a big thing for us. But you should have planned that properly. And you should, next time you go, rent an Airbnb, please be honest to your host. Because as a host, we understand. The only thing that we're having concern is that when our guests are not telling us the truth, and then we'll just find out. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I'm hoping that, I'm hoping that you would also realize that you let down your wedding party list, with all the bridesmaids. When I saw the video, I felt so bad. And I said, why is she not telling me this? Why was she hiding it from me? Why she didn't tell me that those people are on her wedding parties, getting their hair done? Yes, they're very, very beautiful. Yes, and I feel so bad about it that, the situation, ended that way. I hope it did not, but I'm hoping that next time she'll understand that she has to communicate.
After the Airbnb owner shared her side of the story, the bride finally decided to respond. She explained what really happened from her perspective, how stressful it was to be told to leave on the morning of her wedding.
Hi guys, my name is Angel. I'm the bride from the Airbnb video that the hairstylist posted. I just want to get on here and tell my side. I'm only going to be giving y'all facts. Not much my opinions on everything, but yeah, just showing you guys some screenshots and getting my side of the story out. That's all. I also just want to say that I really, 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 really do appreciate every single person that defended me and supported me in my hairstylist comments, under that woman's video, in her comments, that message Airbnb, every single person, including Airbnb. They did completely resolve the situation effectively, professionally, and swiftly. And I am so happy with the outcome. And I appreciate you guys a lot. Without you, I don't think that any of this would have happened, especially with my hairstylist, Tierney. She was amazing hairstylist. She did her thing, and my girls looked very good on that day. And without her, this would not have happened. So I do want to thank Tierney as well. She did amazing. But yeah, I'm going to be giving you guys some brief screenshots and facts. But before I get started with that, for anybody, and I'm not saying that there are a whole bunch of people doing this, but for anybody that is going to, the host's page to harass or bully her, just please don't, guys. The situation was fixed. It's fine. I'm okay. Okay, so number one, I knew that my venue was not going to let me until 12. At that point, I had to figure out a situation because I have 10 bridesmaids in total, and they needed to get their makeup done, and they needed to start like early in the morning. Okay. Second, because I needed to figure something out, I went ahead and I told my dad, hey, I need to get an Airbnb or a hotel, whatever the case may be. Also, guys, the mysterious Everett that everybody's talking about is my dad. That's it. Also, I did not tell this woman that I was having my wedding, and I don't think I needed to. And honestly, that opinion is not going to change. It's not going to change. When I book an Airbnb, when I book a hotel, I don't tell them why I'm there or what I'm doing. Quite frankly, they don't need to know. All they need to know is that I'm staying there. That's it. Now, when I book the Airbnb, here is the policy. No gatherings of more than 6 people, up to 4 vehicles allowed on the property, no street parking. That's what was there. Again, I also saw 6 guests maximum allowed. This is what she sent me the morning of our check-in. Our check-in was supposed to be on the 12th. I didn't check until the 13th, the day of my wedding, because I went out the morning before. I didn't get back to Montgomery until 5 a.m. and I immediately went to bed. But if you want to read this, you can pause. It was a really nice message. I just said thank you back. Now, what you guys should know is that I have 10 bridesmaids in total. I was aware that it said 6 guests maximum. And I had created, or really my maid of honor and my matron of honor, shout out to them, they created a schedule for the bridesmaids to get there to do their makeup because I knew that I couldn't have more than 6 people there. My intention was to always have 6 people there. And for everybody who doesn't believe that we were really going to do rotations, we really were. My bridesmaid, my matron of honor, got the 4 wrong, but really it was 6 people. So I told them like groups of 3 and then let the next group know when you're going to be done. Yeah, so it would have been 3 people, me, the hairstylist, and the makeup artist. That makes 6. Also, this was sent at 8:32 p.m. on Friday. Now, guys, I got back to my Airbnb at like 5 in the morning because, like I said, I went out the night before. I immediately went to bed. I was tired and I was getting married in the morning. I went to bed, and then when I woke up around like 8 in the morning, I realized that there were more than 6 people. And I realized that that was against the rules. So I messaged her and I said, "Good morning. Just wanted to let you know that I'm getting married today. My venue is 15 minutes down the road." I let her know that so that she knew that whenever we left, it would be quick, okay? Venue won't let me and my bridesmaids in yet, but will around 12 p.m. By that time, we should all be gone, as well as the cars. I just wanted to let you all know that so that you didn't think it was a party or anything. I apologize for the inconvenience. Please let me know if there's anything you need from me. And again, I apologize. I apologize twice, guys. I'm not a rude person. I understand this is somebody's place, and I don't want to do anything to make them uncomfortable. She said good morning. She congratulated me on my wedding day. She told me about the policy again. And said that it was strict, and she said that she wouldn't be able to, that says accommodate your requests. I understood. Did I understand? No, but I understood that this is her place, so if that's how she feels, then that's how she feels. I said, okay, do you know where they may be able to go since only 3.5 hours? I literally just needed somewhere for them to be for 3 hours or 3, 4. I'm bad at math, whatever. I need them to be somewhere for a short amount of time. She said she was checking, and she asked how many there are. I said just 7. I know that for a fact in her video, it did not go through to her. So she did not see this. Guys, like I said, this Airbnb was in the middle of the forest. I'm a very type E person, so really that morning I was running off having no Wi-Fi and just doing whatever. But I did say that there were 7 people in the Airbnb. It just did not get to her, and I was running around doing stuff, so I didn't see that it didn't send. She then said you can check Margaritaville. Like I said, guys, I just needed a place for 3.5 hours. My bridesmaids were going home after the wedding. I wanted to be with my husband. I said, because I was trying to clarify, they don't need a place to stay, just a place to wait until 12, and then they're leaving and not coming back. What I meant by that is not that they're leaving your house and not coming back. What I meant is that wherever they will be, they don't need to stay. They're not coming back. I said they aren't staying the night, just waiting. That's it. That's all I meant by that. And I can see how it may be misconstrued that I meant her place, but that's not what I meant. I just meant that I needed a place for them to be at for not an extended period of time. And she said that she understood and that it was again, and we weren't allowed on the property. La la. This was the rest of that message. I totally understand. Again, only 6 people allowed to be on the property, only 3 cars allowed to be on the property. I saw 4, and I showed you guys a screenshot, but whatever. No street parking, and all IDs need to be submitted for all guests prior to check-in. These weren't guests. Again, they were visitors. They were not going to be there for more than like 4 hours that day. And these policies were on the listing that Everett agreed to upon booking. You're violating numerous policies of ours. I'll give you 30 minutes to vacate the property. Otherwise, the sheriff will be notified to vacate you from the property. And then she confirmed yesterday it's only 2 checking in. Yeah. She didn't clarify if she needed me to leave too. So I asked her, I said, are you talking about me too? She didn't respond back until like 8 or 9:35-ish. But I was trying to figure out what to tell my dad. Yeah. Then she finally responded and said yes. And so while I said I was upset, guys, but I wasn't going to be cursing this woman out and doing the most. So I just said, awesome. I hope you have the day you deserve after threatening to call the sheriff on a bride who was trying to have effective communication. Lovely conversation. I didn't talk to her ever again. This says Everett canceled the reservation, and that's that. Okay, any hoodles. So yeah, I thought that this was going to be brief, but I don't think so. So I'll just do a part 2. Okay, y'all, this is my part 2, just to debunk some things. For one, this woman knew that it was my wedding from the moment I told her that was 8 a.m. on September 13th. That was my wedding day. Second, there were no cars in the road. Even then, I remember at a certain point, one of my bridesmaids, she literally came in and grabbed everybody's keys and said, hey, I'm going to move my car over because it was kind of in the middle of the driveway. She said, I'm going to move this car over and rearrange everybody's cars so that we're all fitting in the driveway. Why? Because we realized that the street was not like a street that you can just park on the side of. It was like a road, like a one-way road almost. It was really small. So she moved it so that nobody's cars were in the way and nobody got hit. I know that the makeup artist said that it was her brother that was the sheriff. I think she just misheard, not really trying to make anything up or anything. I genuinely just think she misheard what I said because it all happened in a rush and she was just trying to get the story out. That's it. But I was never told that it was her brother that was the sheriff. And I'm just clarifying that that's not correct. And that's pretty much it. Also, I was not rude or nasty to her. I don't know where that claim was coming from. It was a very short-lived conversation and I had nothing to be rude or nasty about. Was my last message a little snippy? Yes, guys, you're stressing me out. It's my wedding day. Like, I don't know what you want from me. I'm a human being. Okay, guys, so the aftermath of all of that was that I called my dad, let him know what the situation was. He called Airbnb. Airbnb told him that they would be giving him a refund for half the stay. And they said, please go make a comment under this woman's listing because she is a problem host. And nobody ever really leaves a comment, so Airbnb can't do anything about it. However, I will say as of like 15 minutes ago, and I want to thank you guys because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten this recognition without you. But Airbnb did give us a full refund and a coupon for our next stay, and said that it was on them, and apologized for everything, congratulated me on my wedding. So for everybody saying I'm so wrong, there you have it. Guys, after that happened and I heard that my dad got his money back, I didn't care. I went to my maid of honor's hotel room. I took a shower. My bridesmaids and the makeup artist and the hairstylist all went out to go get breakfast, and they got a mimosa tower and at the time of their lives. And we all met up at the venue at 12 o'clock. We got our hair and makeup done. I looked beautiful. I had my dream wedding. It was amazing. Everybody had fun, and I'm a married woman now. Anyways, guys, that's the story. That's pretty much it. There's not much more to it. It was very simple. I just want to thank every single person who was on the front lines and defending me. It was so great. And I want to thank whoever did reach out to Airbnb or told them, hey, this is wrong what this woman was doing. I really do appreciate it. And helping my parents get their money back. And just giving me justice. I really do appreciate you guys. You guys really do roll for me. Anyway, love you guys. Love everybody that supported me. I appreciate it. I hope that this is all over. It was definitely resolved on my end. I never want to hear about this woman or speak about her or hear from her again, unless it's an apology. And I just want to move on with my life. I am married now, and I really want to enjoy the beginning of my marriage. I'm going on my honeymoon next week, and I just want all this drama to be over. But again, I really do appreciate and love you guys so much, and thank you for supporting me, and thank you for watching my video. Okay, bye. Also, just another thing, thank you so much, Airbnb. I really do appreciate you guys trying to resolve the issue and being professional and swift and investigating. And thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, now, really, bye.
This story didn't just stay on TikTok, it went viral, sparking debates all over social media. People argued about who was really at fault, and the drama got so big, it even made it onto the local news. What started as a hairstylist story time turned into a full-blown community conversation.
Now to a story you'll see only on Fox. A bride and her bridal party were kicked out of their Airbnb on the day of the wedding. Talk about a headache. It was all caught on video, posted on TikTok, and it has nearly 10 million views. But tonight, the host of that Airbnb is speaking out for the first time and sharing her side of the story. Fox 26's Jonathan Mejia live in studio. And Jonathan, let's outline here what policy exactly was broken here leading to the booking being canceled.
Yeah, Anthony, a headache for sure. Well, Raina Tart is the owner of the Airbnb property, and while she laments the unfortunate situation, she says communication is key and rules are rules.
Way ridiculous if the bride can't even get her hair and makeup done.
In a video that has gone viral on TikTok, you can see a bride and her bridesmaids getting kicked out of their Airbnb reservation on the day of their wedding. And while many people have bashed the property owner, Reina Tart, she says the full story wasn't posted to TikTok.
I'm frustrated, okay? I'm not upset. I am frustrated about the whole situation because it's mostly the communication. You know what I mean? It's everything is in communication.
Tart has been a longtime host on Airbnb and manages multiple properties, even becoming a super host for 3 years, a recognition for top-rated hosts who delivers exceptional guest experiences. So when she received a reservation for 2 people, she didn't think that she would find herself in a negative situation.
I sent her a message and I told her that, like, hey, we have a limit. You know, we got, up to 6 because of the liability reason.
Tart says the person who made the reservation didn't make the trip, and no one informed her that the property would have more than 2 guests and be used for day of wedding preparations for a bride and her bridesmaids.
When you do that, you're talking about liability. There's a lot of people in there, and on the Airbnb app, it's only 2 people. All those people need to be accounted on the Airbnb app as a guest. So if something happened, Airbnb knows. If there's liability, Airbnb is aware of it.
Tart says she reached out to Airbnb for guidance when the guests wouldn't respond to her messages when asked how many people were in her home, so the reservation was canceled by Airbnb. In a statement sent to Fox 26, Airbnb says, hosts on Airbnb set occupancy limits for their listings, typically for safety and liability reasons, and we ask guests to respect those rules.
It's not about who wins, you know what I mean? The goal is not about winning. The goal is about moving forward. Okay, well, what have I learned, in this situation? And then.
So Airbnb fully refunded the money to the guests and provided them a travel credit for future use. Now, I reached out to the bride to get her side of the story and figure out why she didn't respond to Airbnb or the host, but we did not get a response in time for this report. I'm reporting live here in the studio, Jonathan Mejia, Fox 26 News.
After hearing both sides and the Airbnb host standing firm on her rules and liability concerns, and the bride explaining how she was just trying to make wedding day prep work for her bridesmaids, it's clear this was a clash of perspectives that spiraled under the pressure of the moment. Airbnb ultimately stepped in, refunded the booking, and even provided travel credit, leaving the bride satisfied, and the host still stressing the importance of communication and following policy. At the end of the day, the wedding went on. The bride says she had her dream celebration, and the internet had plenty to say about who was right and who was wrong.
Kicking out a bride.
All right, so I got tagged in this video a couple of times. Basically, this Airbnb host kicked out a bridal party, day of wedding, out of her Airbnb, and everybody's conflicted. So here is the thing. They look like they booked it. I'm going to post the other reaction, I guess, right? But they look like they booked it, and they basically said it would be 2 people. They did not mention anything about a bridal party getting ready or nothing like that. The day of, they're saying, oh, it's going to be 6, then 7, then 8, it sounds like, and there might be some overlap. I think that all Airbnb hosts are naive and stupid to think that people are not going to have parties, gatherings, people coming by in and out their property. I think if you're in this business, you just have to accept it as is. However, I do think that you guys should have just been honest. I don't think she was racist. I don't think there was any, ill intention. The fact is that you guys booked it under one thing, and then the day of, you guys try to switch up on her. It is her house. It is her property. She has every right to make whatever rules she wants. If you guys want to, own your own property, do all the legwork to get it renovated. People are like, oh, well, technically speaking, it wasn't a party. They were just getting ready. The more people you guys have in a property, in a space, the more wear and tear it is. She probably didn't sign up for that. So you're saying, okay, it's only 2 people. Okay, great, cool. Now I'm seeing 8, 9, 10, 11. This would all have been avoided if the party itself, the guest itself, was honest from the get-go. She probably would have let you guys do it maybe for an extra fee, extra cleaning fee, however, right? Or I think Airbnb hosts just need to say, you know what? You guys can have these amount of people. It's this price. I'm big on just tell me the price, I'll pay. I'll pay. People called us crazy when we decided to start raising our price for up to 10 people, $1,000 per night. And everybody was like, oh, who's going to pay for that? People who don't want to get kicked out. People who don't want to get kicked out of an Airbnb, want to have their little birthday party, want to have their little birthday dinner, want to have their bridal party, bachelorette, or maybe even a push party and not be bothered. So yeah, anyway, check out the Brooklyn Pink. Okay, bye.
I saw that Airbnb bride video and I just had to comment because most people know I work in tech, but I also own an Airbnb as well. And it did almost $20,000 last month and it sleeps 12 people. So we deal with large parties all the time. And I'm able to manage this because my fiance is a nurse. She works remotely, so she takes care of all of this. When it comes to this story, one, I noticed that these Airbnb hosts have literally lost their mind and they are extremely strict for no reason. Sometimes we have parties that come over and stay at our property and they will throw parties, and we've never called the cops, we've never kicked them out, but we have always given them warnings and said, hey, we do not allow this. Can you please make sure that this doesn't happen again? Maybe we're a little too lenient, but we haven't had any issues yet. When you're in the Airbnb business, you really have to take care of your guests, and if we knew that somebody was coming over for their wedding, we would definitely make sure that they are well taken care of. You cannot be in this business if you think you're going to act like a landlord.
What do you think? Was this simply miscommunication, or was the host justified in holding her ground? Drop your thoughts in the comments and I'll see you in the next one.
This is my opinion. I'm free to state my opinion anytime I like, right? Thank you.
I don't want you to feel like that, but yeah, feel like that.